And welcome back to the Real Estate on the Cheap mini challenge. My name is Nev. I'm your host, and I am delighted to be here. I hope you are as well. If this is your first time coming to this channel, first time watching this series, I highly recommend you start at the beginning and then catch up to this episode. Things are gonna get way more sense if you do that. Now, if you've already been with me from the beginning, I welcome you. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you subscribe, like, do bell notification, put in comments or questions if you have them. I do make sure to check on those on regular basis and respond. I don't do it on a daily basis. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I got so many things that I'm working on. So here we go. We've talked about so many different things, and now it's time to talk about the due diligence. You've likely heard about the term due diligence, especially when it comes to investments, especially when it comes to real estate. So what is it, and why is it so important to do it? Let's talk about it. So, due diligence is nothing more than a fancy name for research whether it makes sense for you to purchase or bid on a particular property or deal. Now, due diligence is done for so many different things, but we're going to focus here on the properties. If I am considering getting into particular auction, I might go into the county tax assessor. We talked about that, how to find it, and it's simple, right? Like you can just go in for the county tax assessor, go in and find these deals, and I get the list of deals, and I'm gonna hopefully get it in Excel because it's easier to sort. But you can get it in paper. You whatever methodology works for you, go for it. I'm gonna look into it, and I'm gonna look at the starting bids. And if I, as we talked about, if I only have $10,000, I'm going to focus on the deals that are underneath $10,000. The first part of the research that I like to do is to look at the price that is being offered at versus value. Price, value. I want something for as low of a price as I can get it, as high of a value that I can get it for. So if I can find a property that, say, price starting bid, or price as I like to call it, is $1,000, but the value is, say, 20,000, then I really like that because there's room there. That for me means that I can potentially, if I look at it from the business sense, I can potentially sell this for $20,000. From there, I want to look and learn a little bit more about this particular property or deal. Is it a land? Is it a house? Right? Meaning, does it have any improvements? If it does have improvements, what can I learn about it? Now, most of the time, when these houses and when these deals are put in, if you are local to it or you have means to travel to the location, you can go and look at it from afar, kind of thing, but you can't typically go on it or in it. So you've seen some of these things on HD. I think it's called HDTV. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I don't watch TV, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't own TV. But there are shows where you can watch and see some of these, like you've seen it with like a storage, when they go in auction on that. And so they'll start a bid, but you have no clue what's in it. You can kind of like look at it from afar, and that's about it. So you want to make sure that you understand what is the type of property. Where is it located? Are there other things around it? If it's a land, is it something that is buildable on or not? You want to look at, where is it located? Is it highly sloped or not? So, for example, if I'm looking at 2 acres of land, right, which is not bad for a property, where is it located? Is this a swamp? Like, can somebody build something on it? Because if it's a swamp and you can't build on it, chances of me being able to sell it is slim to none. Chances of me being able to do anything with it is slim to none. So you want to pay attention to that. You want to pay attention to the slope. Is it like super steep where it's like there's no way nobody can build on that, and sort of like rolling down? Is it on a cliff? Can you access the property? Meaning, is there ease of way to it? Is there public road? Is there, like, how do you get to it? So I've seen some of these, and again, just because they're listed there doesn't mean that they are a good deal. You need to do research. Let me tell you a couple of the stories of why we do due diligence. Story number one is there was a parcel that was available for sale, and I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Started to research it, and it was basically a highway divider. What the heck am I gonna do with a highway divider? But of course, it was available for sale because why wouldn't they if they could? So pass on to that. The next one that we saw, I was actually coaching a client of mine. This was about a year ago, plus minus. So I was coaching a client of mine, and we're looking at particular deals in Seattle, Washington. That's right. Believe it or not, even Seattle has these babies. And we're looking at a few different deals. We're actually preparing her for an auction, and she was very excited. We were looking at stuff, we were researching together. So I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching with her, and we found this one property, and we're like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was like downtown Seattle. The price is perfect. So we started to look into it. Well, guess what? It's a public park. You can't, I mean, you can buy it, but you can't do anything with it. Like, you can't build on it. You can't, like, it's protected. So, again, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence and understand what type of property it is, where it's located. Can you do anything with it? Are there any sort of rules and regulations? And most of that stuff you can find right there on the assessor's website. You can also use Google Maps to help you with it. You can go in and take a look into it, put in the address into the Google, and do the little look on top, see where the stores are located, see where it's located, in what part of town, what else is around it. If there's that Google Maps where you can put a little human on the street and, as I like to say, drive about the area, go ahead and do it. You want to understand as much as possible about it. For the properties that have improvements on it, you want to try to learn as much as you possibly can about that particular improvement. You want to do research again on the assessor's website. Sometimes they will have drawings, the year that the house was built, and so on. Zillow could become your best friend. Remember how I said you can't really find these deals on Zillow, but you can use Zillow to help you? So Zillow could actually help you, where you can put in the address and take a look about this property. Perhaps it was on the market at some point in the past, and there's some photos about it where you can learn more about it. Maybe there were previous sales where you can take a look into it. You can also look at the tax assessor's website to learn about potentially previous owners and try to understand a bit more about what's going on with this place. Please do note that sometimes when you get properties with improvements, even though it becomes yours, there might be squatters and there might be squatter rights in that particular state or county. So you want to research and learn about it. How do you go about that? Of course, it is your property. You might have to go through some eviction processes and changing. Some of them might be looking really nice on the outside, but they might be destroyed on the inside. You never know. You want to make sure that you're prepared to do that, because while you might be able to flip it as is, maybe you want to do some work and you also want to put in some amount of money aside to be able to fix it up if that's something that you want to do. So for all of those different reasons, research is crucially important before you even go in it. For me, I like to look at all of those things and many, many more and consider all these different options about, does this even make sense or not? As I said, first thing that I look at is it in my budget? If the answer is no, I don't spend time looking at it. If it is in my budget, I start looking at the price versus value. If there is enough value in it to substantiate the price, then I will continue with my research. So these are the quick ones to go through, and then we start getting deeper and deeper into it. After that, for my strategy, I look in and try to come up with which properties I'm actually even interested in potentially bidding in. There's some auctions where I look and say, not even worth my time. There's nothing that I like, or there's one property that I like. I don't know if I want to spend time and energy getting into it. But if I really, really, really like the property, I will go in and participate nonetheless. So I hope this is helpful to you. It's giving you some thoughts and ideas. And I want to thank you for taking your time to participate in this real estate on the cheap challenge. If this is helpful to you and you're enjoying it, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit notification. Put in stuff in the comment section. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.